Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending upon where you are. My name is Hassan Ashraf. I am Senior Manager Education at ACCA. On behalf of ACCA and ICMA Pakistan, I am very pleased to welcome all of you to today's event, and I'll be your host for the today's evening. As you may all know that this particular initiative was, long expected by all of you. So today is the day when we will be sharing with you all the details that you need to know in order to apply for this program. But before I begin, I will request all of you if you could give me an idea that you guys can hear me loud and clear and see the screen as well. So please use your question panel for that and type yes if you can see the screen and at the same time hear me loud and clear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your response. Thank you. All yes, all yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. All clear. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. So majority has responded as yes. That means you guys can listen to me and at the same time can see the screen as well. A quick housekeeping announcement. We have kept enough time in this 1 hour for your question and answer, but don't wait until that question and answer session comes in. You can still anytime type your questions into the question panel and we will be answering your question. If any question will remain at the end, we will have the list of all those questions and we will make sure that we get back to you at the earliest possible time and respond to all those queries. Now, without any further ado, I'm very pleased that the leadership of both organizations is present today with us on this event to share their thoughts and at the same time answer your concerns and questions for this very important initiative. And to begin with, I would request Anne Lamb, who is head of qualification at ACCA. She's been very instrumental in the development of this program. And both sides, ICMA Pakistan and ACCA, the teams worked very hard in developing and designing this robust mutual recognition agreement for the membership of ACCA and ICMAP. So I will request Anne to start the session with her welcome remarks. Over to you, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar on the ICMAP and ACCA Pathway Programme, and a particular welcome to Zia Al Mustafa, President of ICMAP, and Sajid Aslam, Head of ACCA Pakistan. It's my real pleasure to give the welcoming remarks to this evening's event, as this particular event marks the launch of a very important and significant collaboration between ICMAP and ACCA. The partnership between ICMAP and ACCA started back in 2015, and today marks the culmination of the effort of all those years that both organisations have been working together. And it's that mutual cooperation and support that has enabled us to work so closely together to develop the pathway that we're going to announce to you today. Since late 2019, colleagues in ICMAP and in ACCA have been working very closely on a number of initiatives, including the development of a pathway to membership for eligible members in both organisations. And the work that we've done in creating the pathway and the exam, both teams have ensured that we've built on the strengths of the two respected and demanding qualifications offered by both ICMAP and ACCA. So today's event is intended to provide you with more information on the strategic partnership between ICMAP and ACCA, the future of the profession more generally, and also to provide you with more detailed information on the pathway programme and its requirements. We very much hope that you find the updates interesting and that you're encouraged to sign up for the pathway programmes, which we feel are a very good opportunity for members of both organisations to take on additional qualifications and membership rights in both bodies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne, for your welcome remarks. And indeed, both organizations have worked very closely and dedicatedly to reach at this stage, and it is a very happy moment for all of us. Now, moving forward, a very important personality, from ICMA Pakistan leadership, who is president of ICMA Pakistan. His leadership has been critical in giving us so many steers in different decisions that we had to make in developing and designing this program. So I'm very happy that he himself has taken time out and joined us in today's event. And now I would request President ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, to share some updates and also his remarks on the strategic partnership agreement between ICMA Pakistan and ACCA. Thank you.
Thank you, Hassan, for inviting me. Dear colleagues from ICMA Pakistan, from ACCA, and head of ACCA, Mr. Sajid Aslam, and Madam Anne Lamb from ACCA head office. Good afternoon, good evening. This is a very important session which ACCA and ICMA Pakistan has organized, and inviting the leadership of both the organization to share the progress on the strategic partnership agreement which we both organizations have signed in on 10th of March 2020. This is the continuation of our previous MOU, which myself and Sajid, I think in 2014, we both signed that agreement, and this time again we got this opportunity to sign the agreement on behalf of both organizations. So already the MOU was existing since 2014 between both organizations, and we are recognizing the professionals of both the accounting bodies, whether they are associates and fellows. Now, with the passage of time, this relationship has strengthened, and now we are into an agreement, and this is a strategic partnership agreement. In this agreement, we are not only offering the pathway to the ACCA members or to the ICMA members. In this agreement, we have taken few other steps to improve the accountancy profession, to strengthen the accountancy profession, especially in Pakistan, and how we can get the benefit from the experiences of each other. So in this agreement, we have formed a board as well, which is Professional Accounting Advisory Board, and the three members from both organizations are the part of that board, and that board has started its working to advise to the regulators in Pakistan and to the governments about the role of professional accountants in the corporate sector, in the public sector. So the first meeting has been held 2 months back, and we are in progress. There is a good representation from ACCA National Council and from the local leadership of the ACCA on that board. So likewise, in addition to this board, we are also in agreement to promote the international public sector accounting standards and to promote the ICMA qualification. And on that, we are also working. Previously, we organized a very good sessions at the ICMA campuses, and there is a technical support from the ACCA, and the examination systems and coaching, both the organization ICMA and ACCA did jointly, and it was very beneficial for the public sector. And again, now we have a demand from the such public sector organizations to organize this ICMA qualification again. So most likely within a month's time or so, because we have finalized all the nitty-gritties, and both organizations are on it, and we are keen to immediately launch it. But due to this COVID, there are certain limitations due to which the things are linger on. But now I am expecting that it will be available very soon. We, in this COVID environment, we not stop the activities. Both organizations organize joint seminars, budget seminars, and other technical sessions. So we are grateful and thankful to the ACCA leadership, global leadership, and the Pakistan-based leadership for gracing these joint events. And likewise, the team of ICMA, the council members of ICMA, and the speakers from ICMA also participated in the ACCA event. So we are strengthening the relationship, and the crux of this strategic partnership to open the membership doors for associates and fellows. So there is a development for the fellows, especially in the first phase. The fellows have to give one pathway exam of ICMA, to get the membership of ICMA, and likewise the members of the fellow members of ICMA had to give one paper exam to become the member of ACCA. So the content of these examination has almost been finalized by the working teams of both organizations, and these are approved by the consuls, and we are expecting that very soon we will be in the examination mode. As I said, we started this partnership agreement. We signed this agreement in the March 10th, but immediately after March 10th, on 24th of March in Pakistan, the government of Pakistan announced a lockdown, and due to this COVID, and we were for the last 4 or 5 months there is a complete lockdown in the country, and the activities suffered. Likewise in UK, the same happened in UK, and in UK the effect of the COVID was very severe, more than the Pakistan. So they were in a more critical condition as compared to us. So these are the few reasons. That's why there is a delay in the development of examination. Now we are expecting that at Pakistan we will be able to start the examination by the end of September. And likewise, maybe the timelines will be shared by Mr. Sajid about the ACCA, how they will conduct this examination, how early they can manage this. So, as you know, both organizations are not-for-profit organizations. There is no commercial interest. They're just to promote the profession of accountancy, to strengthen the profession of accountancy, and I believe that the member of both organizations will get the mileage, will get this, will be strengthened due to this partnership agreement, and also they will avail the membership of each other. So these are the few remarks from my side, and I am available throughout the session for any question and answers from our audience. So now, thank you, Hassan, for giving me the time for sharing the few remarks about this strategic partnership agreement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ziaul Mustafa Saab. Indeed, this is a very holistic agreement, and there are a lot of initiatives that are going to strengthen the profession in Pakistan and across the globe as well. Thank you very much for your pertinent remarks. Now, moving forward, another very important individual from the leadership of ACCA, who obviously, along with the leadership of ICMA Pakistan, concepted this whole thing, right from the beginning. And obviously, it is very important to hear from him as well how he thinks this partnership is progressing, and at the same time, how do we intend to make this partnership even more beneficial for the profession and for the members of both accounting bodies. So without any further ado, I would request Head of ACCA Pakistan, Mr. Sajid Aslam, for his remarks on the partnership agreement and at the same time on this particular pathway initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Hassan. And the most important people on this call are our member, which we are obliged to serve. So it's not me or Zia. It's practically the members who are the most important people, and that's something which we are trying to do to make sure we can serve them better. I think just going back to the fundamental, हम यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं strategic partnership agreement की, and this agreement के under बहुत से initiatives होंगे, and definitely जिसमें pathway is a one, tab is another one, IPSAS है, CPDs हैं, but इस strategic partnership agreement के कुछ crux हैं, इसका एक overall objective है. जब ये पार्टनरशिप शुरू हुई थी तो उसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट एरिया ये था कि what we really want to do for our members and what we want our members, or that's basically a guidance coming from members, that what they exactly want to do for Pakistan or for the profession in general globally. So the significant sentiment is that we want to serve our society better. We want to uphold the trust. At the same time, we want to progress in our careers, and we want to create opportunity for ourselves as well as for people around us. And that was the fundamental principle based on which we started this relationship, and we started building upon that relationship further as well. So throughout the journey, we constantly and consistently getting the feedback from the members one way or other, that what exactly they would like us to do to make sure we can serve them better. And pathway, which we are going to discuss today, is the one of an area which was a key aspiration, because it's create opportunities locally and globally for members, for qualified accountant in a different areas. And I take you back to my initial concept and the discussion which we had at the time of MOU. And I just would like you to remind that जब हमने कोई छोटा सा काम करना होता है ना, या कुछ बड़ा कंट्रोल्ड एनवायरनमेंट में करना होता है, या कोई बहुत छोटी सी चीज हम हैंडल कर रहे होते हैं, तो वो हम एक मुट्ठी में we can really handle that one. We can really hold it in our palm. If we want to hold something a little bit bigger, we use both our hands and then we try to really hold that one if it's a little bit bigger. But if you really want to do something which is really, really big and it has got a bigger impact, then you need a lot of hands and then you need a lot of minds as well. So this partnership is practically bringing all those hands and minds together to really support our economy, to really create that public trust, and to really help society to understand the implication of their economic decision better. चाहे हम टैक्स की बेस बढ़ाने की बात करें, चाहे हम सर्विसेज की बात करें, चाहे हम डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की बात करें, प्राइवेट सेक्टर की बात करें, पब्लिक सेक्टर की बात करें, ऑडिट की बात करें, corporate finance, treasury, you pick up anything. अब बल्कि going forward fintech की बात करें, fincom की बात करें, you need professionally qualified people who are working together to make sure that businesses and corporates and the public sector and the government, they have enough confidence that the people who are handling those economic matters, they are properly and professionally qualified. And they are working in collaboration, and they are working in a way that they are building their knowledge every day. So they are most relevant, most ethical, and the most professional people to rely on. And that's what the trust is all about. People can really talk about that if we are talking to ICMAP members, or if we are talking about ACCA members, these people are professionally qualified, trustworthy, ethical, professional accountants. And that's what this partnership is all about, to work together and shape that future which can uphold trust and which can help government as well to really honor that government and citizen contract, where the citizen is paying certain taxes and expecting certain services from the government, and we can bring that level of transparency in decision making and reporting side. That's where IPSAS comes into play. So at any field, at any dimension or direction which we take in terms of the professional accountant, it's always end up building that trust and retaining that trust and like developing that trust further. And this is the confidence which we want to have, which we want to build together with ICMA Pakistan, in Pakistan and abroad, that our professional accountants, our members collectively can really contribute towards revival, towards growth of our economy. So this is the one of a key message. I'll not get into the detail of the pathway. I'm sure Hassan and Javeria and the people out there who can take us through those details, and they are more capable of really sharing all those details and answering the question. But I think the most important is not that how we are going to do things which we are going to do. It's what we are doing and why we are doing is the important part here. So why we are doing? Because we really want to create value together for the profession and for the country. So that's the why which we need to address, and that's the why which should be driving us to take this partnership to the next level. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Sajid. And indeed, members are the most important people, and we all are here to serve towards them. Thank you for this correction. And obviously, I would agree, this is for the strengthening of economy and our national economies, as well as our members who can serve to build those economies. Now, the next part is going to be important. This is where we will be sharing with you the details of this program, the highlights of this program. So for this, I am happy that another very important individual from the team of ICMA Pakistan, Javeria, who is Director Marketing and Corporate Communication, she will be taking us through the highlights of this pathway arrangement. Meanwhile, if I may request to put everybody on mute so that thank you. So Javeria, over to you.
Thank you very much, Hassan. So I will take this opportunity to share some highlights about the membership pathway programs that are being offered by ACCA and ICMA Pakistan for the members of both the professional accountancy organization. These highlights we are sharing so that we can address the common questions that you might have later on for the Q&A sessions. So we'll be sharing basic details in this 5-minute presentation, and we're going to utilize the time that we have allocated for Q&A session for more specific, more unique questions that we have not been able to answer in this highlights presentation. So first of all, talking about the membership pathway program that ICMA Pakistan will be offering for ACCA members. Hassan, if you may move to the next slide. So only fellow members of ACCA are currently eligible for the membership pathway program. The membership pathway program is right now not available for ACMAs or any students of ACCA. So the eligibility criteria, as clearly stated, is fellow members of ACCA. Now, membership pathway program is a more holistic term, and membership pathway exam is just one component of this pathway program. So in order for an FCCA to acquire ICMA membership, they'll have to clear the membership pathway exam. They'll have to, if they want to apply for the practicing license in Pakistan, in that case, they'll have to qualify the legal module, and then they will also have to submit the practical experience requirement. Now, any experience that ACCA fellow members already, possess, we will be counting that experience towards their membership. So there are 3 elements of the membership pathway program. Number 1 is the membership pathway exam, which is mandatory. Number 2 is the legal module, which is only applicable for those fellow members who want to apply for practicing license in Pakistan. And number 3 is completion and verification of practical experience requirement, which is again mandatory for all ACCA members applying for ICMA membership. Next slide, Hassan. So the structure of pathway exam, we are specifically talking in this slide about the pathway exam that ICMA will be offering for ACCA fellow members. The exam would be comprised of 2 sections. One is the objective type questions and the other is the descriptive type questions. 60% of your exam will be based on objective type questions. There will be 30 questions in this section. 2 hours will be given to complete those questions, and 300 marks are allocated for this section. And in descriptive type questions, there will be 2 to 3 questions. 1 hour would be given to complete this section, and marks allocated for this section are 200. So total marks for the exam are 500, and the passing ratio is 50% in each section, and the total duration of exam would be 3 hours. The syllabus on which these questions would be based, or this pathway exam would be based, is shared in the handout section of this webinar. If you can see the handout section, also all relevant details are available on ICMA website now, and Hassan is going to share the link for specific link for ICMA website in the chat box with all the participants of this webinar. Next slide, Hassan. Hassan, can we move to the next slide? Right. Application process is a very detailed step-by-step guide. A very detailed step-by-step guide is available on ICMA website. There are steps on how to register, how to submit the documentation, how ICMA will complete the verification process, how to submit the exam entry form, how to then submit the membership application form. All of these detailed steps are given in the registration process flow that you will find on the ICMA website. Link is available here as well, and you can access it on ICMA website. The process is also available in the handout section of this webinar. The fees that ICMA will be charging to ACCA fellow members is 59,000 for bridging exam, which is approximately 268 GBP. Now this 59,000 includes your admission or registration fee, your first year subscription fee, and the examination membership pathway examination fee. Any candidate who is interested in acquiring the certificate of practice from ICMA Pakistan will also have to sit the legal module, and the fee for that module is approximately 64 GBP or 14,000 Pakistani rupees. Membership fee, when you are done with the exam and you have to apply for membership, at that time whatever fee would be applicable for ICMA membership would be charged to ACCA members as well. Next slide. So these were the specific details for the ICMA pathway. Now I would be sharing details about the pathway for that ACCA will be offering for fellow members of ICMA Pakistan. Again, eligibility criteria is that any member of ICMA Pakistan interested to acquire ACCA membership will have to be a fellow member of ICMA Pakistan. Currently, this route is only available for fellow members of both bodies. Now again, membership pathway program includes ICMA Pakistan pathway exam. So FCMAs registering for ACCA will have to qualify the pathway exam. They will have to sit for the ethics and professional skills module, and they will also have to submit the practical experience requirement. So the requirement on both sides are fairly consistent. Next slide. The structure for the ICMA Pakistan bridging exam, the exam that ICMA members will have to sit in order to, qualify for the ACCA membership, it is going to be a case study examination. The duration of exam would be 4 hours, and in these 4 hours, candidate will have the time to read, plan, and reflect, as well as attempt the questions. All the questions in this examination would be compulsory. Like other ACCA professional level exams, 70 to 80 marks would be available for technical capabilities, and almost 20 to 30 marks would be based on the professional skills of the candidate. 50% marks are required in order to qualify this exam. Next slide. The application process for FCMAs will be available on ACCA website. We will also share a link of ACCA's microsite on ICMA website as well. ACCA will be charging a bridging fee or bridging exam fee of £285, and this £285 includes study material which costs around £40. The ethics professional skills module will be charged at £65, and the membership admission and membership subscription fee are £129 and £258 respectively, which are the same around the globe. Next slide. Now, we are also aware of the fact that a lot of students and members of both bodies, have in past registered under the previous MOUs for the other professional accountancy organization, and we want to accommodate such candidates, and hence we will be welcoming all the candidates who have previously registered under the previous MOUs in this membership pathway program, provided that they should be an active fellow member of the respective professional accounting organization. So previous students can also apply. If you're a fellow member and you registered under the previous MOU, you are eligible to apply for this membership pathway program. However, if you have paid any fees in excess, we won't be able to reimburse or adjust those fees for your future invoices. So you'll have to let go the fee, any excess fees that you might have paid in the previous arrangement. Next slide. So next steps are that ACCA members, ACCA fellow members who are eligible for this pathway exam can now register for the membership pathway program. The registration details in detail are mentioned on ICMA website. ICMA Pakistan is planning to conduct to offer the first exam date in the last week of September. Applicants may also seek tuition delivery support by emailing at education@icmap.com.pk. ICMA will be offering a crash course comprising of 24 hours and it would be charged at rupees 12,000 for specifically for the September exam date if any fellow members are interested. Similarly, for the ICMA Pakistan members who are eligible to apply for this membership pathway program for ACCA membership, an onboarding email will be sent in the 3rd week of August with all application details. You can, wait for the email. All the logins for ethics professional skills module, learning material, tuition support details will also be shared by 15th September 2020. The exam for ICMA members will be hosted on 15th December 2020 by ACCA. So there's a little bit of difference here that ICMA is offering the first exam in the last week of September and ACCA will be offering the exam for ICMA members on the 15th of December for this year. Next slide. So these are the details that we wanted to share before we proceed to question and answer session. You're more than welcome to type in your questions and we will be answering your questions in the next section. Over to you, Hassan. Thank you very much.
Javeria, for the brief and comprehensive overview of this pathway program. Now it's time for us to answer questions that we have started receiving right from the beginning. So myself and Javeria will be answering these questions. However, at the same time, Mr. Ziaul Mustafa and Mr. Sajid Aslam will be present to comment and contribute as well. So to begin with, the first concern is from Saim Mohsin. He's unable to view the syllabus guide. So I have uploaded it again. I hope, Saim, you would be able to download it now from the handout section. Another question is from Kashif Yusuf. Thank you very much for your question. I took exemptions previously and I have passed SPL, SPR, Advanced Audit and Assurance, and only one paper to be qualified as ACCA. So I think he is trying to ask what is the next steps for him. So in this case, Kashif, as Javeria mentioned, all those who are existing students of either professional accounting body may like to join this particular program and forfeit whatever they have done already. But in your case, since there is only one paper remaining to become a qualified ACCA, you can equally continue to pass that remaining paper and become a member from the original route that you applied for. I hope this answers your question. Feel free to ask again if it does not. Thank you very much. Next question that we have from, again, Kashif Yusuf is, what will be my status? I'm planning to attempt advanced performance management. Would you suggest me to attempt the presently offered scheme or continue to attempt APM and pass per the older scheme? So as I have just mentioned, this is your decision, however you want to take this. If you currently fulfill the requirement of this pathway program, we will welcome you to this one as well. And at the same time, if you would like to pass the remaining paper of advanced performance management and continue with your membership, that is also equally doable. So it is your decision, however you would like to pursue. Another question is from Syed Haider Ali Shah. Thank you for your question. MP exam passing marks. So Javeria, if you may like to answer the passing marks for both exams.
Right, thank you very much. The passing marks for the ICMA exam for ACCA are 50% in both sections. So you have to score 50% plus marks or 50% marks in section A and 50% marks or more than that in section B as well. And for the ACCA exam for ICMA members is 50% as well.
Right. Thank you very much, Javeria. Another question is from Nadia Hamid. Thank you very much, Nadia, for your question. What is the initial deadline for this MOU? I'm not sure what exactly is meant by this question, but I think you are trying to ask about the pathway program, the deadline for pathway program. So as Javeria mentioned, the registration from ICMA Pakistan side are now open. The details are available on ICMA Pakistan website. So ACCA members can start applying for this program. As for the ICMA Pakistan members, the onboarding will begin in 3rd week of August, and the deadline to apply will be most likely 31st of August. However, we will share the exact key dates with you in the onboarding email, which we will be sending to ICMA Pakistan members in 3rd week of August. Please feel free to ask again if this is not what you were asking. Another question is from Tahir Hussain Ansari. He is asking exemption to ACCA finalist from ICMA. So Javeria, if you may respond to this question.
Then I would like to answer the last question. The strategic partnership agreement that both bodies have signed on 10th of March 2020, the duration for this agreement is 5 years. And then obviously the bodies will look into it and extend if the situation is good. Can you repeat the last question, please?
Yes, sure. So it's a question from Tahir Hussain. He's asking exemption to ACCA finalist from ICMA.
Right now, we are focusing on the membership pathway program, but we can share the details in a personal email or one-to-one email with the questioner.
Right. Moving forward, there is another question from Anis Mughal. He is asking guide on exemption available to ACCA member if they want to do ICMA. So I think it's the same question from Tahir as well. So we will revert back to both of you on this after the session. Muhammad Abdullah is saying thank you Muhammad Abdullah for joining and participating in this activity. There is another question from Imran Tariq. What about young members who are having 2 to 3 years experience? So Javeria, I would like you to respond to this. Thank you.
So at the moment, the arrangement is the pathway that we're offering. Only fellow members are eligible for the pathway program. I would say that you may take this as an opportunity to work towards your fellow membership because the initial duration is 5 years. And there is also, because the agreement has been signed for the larger public interest, the bodies may be considering offering some kind of arrangements for the associate members or qualified students or affiliates as well. But that is a really long run thing that we're talking about. So right now, I would encourage you to work towards your fellow membership.
Thank you very much, Javeria. Another question from Muhammad Iqbal, and he's asking about the frequency of examination.
From ICMA Pakistan, we would be offering this exam on quarterly basis.
right? And from ACCA side, this exam will be offered twice a year. So the first attempt is going to be in December 2020, and the next one will be in June 2021. So from 21 onwards, this will be twice annually offered to all ICMA Pakistan members. Thank you very much for your question, Muhammad Iqbal. Moving forward, Mia Muhammad Usman has a question. Any update regarding ACCA members? Any increase in exemptions currently given by ICMA to ACCA members? So this is again something which has already been asked, and we will revert back on this particular question after the session. Uh, Another question is from Muhammad Ibrahim Amjad. What will be the process for ACCA affiliates? So ACCA affiliates obviously can go through the exemption route, and we will be sharing the details as mentioned by Javeria as how many exemptions they can avail in ICMA Pakistan. This particular program is meant for fellow members of both accounting bodies. There were few attendees who were unable to listen because of some challenges at the internet connection on their end or on our side. So the recording of this session will be available after this session. So you will be able to hear the recording as well. You can get the recording by just going to the same registration page, putting in your details, and this time it will take you to the recording. However, it may take 1 to 2 hours before the recording is uploaded. So anybody who has experienced any connectivity issues will be able to listen to the recording as well. Ali Zahir Mir has a question. Can you email these files to attendees? Definitely, we will be sending the slide deck to the attendees along with the website links as well. And all these documents are available on the websites. There is a question from Taha Zuhaib. With due respect, I want to ask question from Sir Ziaul Mustafa that one paper which we required to pass to get ACCA degree and vice versa would be comprehensive or just confined to some specific subjects. So I would request Ziaul Mustafa Saab if he could answer this question.
Right, Hassan.
Hassan, if you kindly repeat the question.
Yes, the question, sir, is I want to ask that the one paper
Hassan?
which. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hassan, if you kindly repeat the question.
Yes, I am doing it now. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. So the question, sir, is the one paper which we required to pass to get ACCA degree and vice versa would be comprehensive or just
Sorry,
confined?
I'm not getting your voice.
Javeria, are you getting my voice?
Hello?
Yes. Javeria, can you hear
Yes,
me?
now I can hear you.
Okay,
Zia.
so the question is about that this exam, the content of this exam is going to be from some specific subjects or confined to the whole syllabus area?
The focus of both the bodies to check those parts which are specialized in their curriculum. So almost the curriculum of all the accounting organizations have a similarity, but there is somehow a specialized part. Like if we talk about the ICMA, so there is a management accounting, financial management, and strategic management. So these are the three areas in which we will ask the candidates from of ACCA to give the exams to assess them in these areas. Likewise, ACCA has developed the few areas which includes the leadership, governance, and a few things on which the ACCA focuses more. So they will ask. So it is not covering the whole curriculum. These are related to the few specific areas of the curriculum of both the organization.
Right. Thank you very much, Ziasa, for your. There is a comment from Ali Raza Sattar. Huge respect and congratulations for Mr. Sajid and Ziaul Mustafa for developing this opportunity for fellow members. Thank you, Ali Raza. There is another question from Murtaza Hassan. I think it's a great initiative and ACCA members will be able to join limited audit rights. However, with an expected increase in audit supply, where I would request all the participants to put themselves on mute. Zia, if you could kindly mute. Yes, so the question was that, however, with an expected increase in audit supply, where would quality of audit end up in Pakistan? It is already on a low side of SME sector. So I would request Sajid if he could comment on this, followed by Zia Saab if he would also like to mention something. This is a very pertinent question from Murtaza Hassan. I hope, Sajid, you were able to listen to the question.
Hassan, sorry, you have to repeat the question.
Yes, so the question is, the first, Murtaza Hassan is congratulating for this great initiative. However, he feels that with an expected increase in the audit supply, where would quality of audit end up in Pakistan? It is already on a low side of for SME sector.
Uh, Thank you, Murtaza. And I think it's not about the quality of audit. I think we can have a separate subject, but the pathway specifically has is not to do anything with the quality of audit. Most of the people, as a professional accountant, they work in the area of corporate, or they are running their significantly their advisory businesses rather than the audit itself. Now let's come back to the quality of audit issue, and the quality of audit is already suffering due to lack of the quality resources. So there are two components to the quality of audit. There is availability of the resources and the attraction of the audit as a one of a service offering, and number two, the ability of the auditee, the companies, to pay and their willingness to pay. So if the audit fee remains so low the way it is in Pakistan, and the liability of the auditor remains so high the way it is in Pakistan and outside Pakistan, the audit is not going to be a very financially lucrative profession. And if the auditee is not paying well, that's mean end of the day, the quality of audit will suffer. Regardless, whatever we say, that's the economic reality. If I'm getting paid, let's say 200,000 rupees for an audit of a company, that means the resources which I can deploy would be less than worth of 200,000. And if I really need to do the quality audit, I have to spend a certain number of hours and days and deploy certain resources. Now let's come to the requirement side of it. How big the requirement is it in the profession right now? So we are looking at somewhere like over 100,000 bare minimum private limited companies, which one way or other may require the audit, and some may be exempt, but for one reason or other, for the banking, for the tax purposes, there is a certain number of entities which requires the audit services. And the number of people who are out there who are providing those services is very limited, just because that profession itself is not financially or economically lucrative for those people. So now there are two things. Number one, we have to create as a profession, when we talk about the shaping the profession and bringing things to the right level. The first thing is to ensure there is enough supply available in a market so these 100,000 companies can be served on a regular basis with the quality of audit. And number two, create that kind of awareness what the value of audit for the owners and for the stakeholders. I think this is a two-way advocacy which we need to bring to the table. So definitely it's not about the supply of the audit, it's a supply of a professional accountant in journal in Pakistan, which again, whether we are talking about revival of economy, we're talking about the distress within the economy, or we are talking about the growth in economy. The best person who need to provide services on those stages, which have got a right kind of business acumen, who is personally effective, who can understand what the business case beyond the financial modeling, like the market segmentation and all those things. Those are the professionals which have to be out there to serve those entities, not necessarily from an audit side, but also from an advisory consulting as an employee as well. So this is the kind of supply which we need to increase. And if you look at the per capita if you look at the GDP and the professional accountant qualified ratio in Pakistan, that's way, way low. And that's what is impacting our quality of GDP, our expansion, as well as the documentation. So number one, we need to create the right kind of accountant with the right kind of supply. And that's what and we have to understand the market space well. From the audit one, it's not only the supply issue, it's the overall the value of audit in terms of honors, how they see it, whether audit is a financially lucrative profession anymore, given the liability and such a low fee, but definitely it's a statutory requirement, and they are, so far, we are seeing some compromises and sometimes quite a significant compromises, just because it's practically not possible to deliver that quality of resources or that quality of audit or deploy that kind of resources to do the audit in its full-fledged strength. And that is creating certain damage in terms of the reputation of the profession around the globe. I hope that gave you the scenario and answer your question. So it's not about the supply, it's about the financial reward which audit carries or does not carry is creating a challenge for the profession globally, not only in Pakistan.
Thank you very much, Sajid. And a related question from Murtaza, and obviously a few other members from ACCA have also asked this question, if you can quickly comment. So what professional competitive advantage would an existing ACCA member gain by opting to avail ICMA qualification through pathway route? And similar question has been asked by the benefits of this program for ACCA members. So if you could quickly comment on that. Thank you.
I think if you look at the overall design and alignment within the cost and management accounting, financial accounting, taxation, and everything, if we put together, there are two things which we are looking at. Number one, we are looking at collectively, that's what we were advised by the members as well, a bigger network which is very much working in a collaboration. A bigger network and a number of professional accountants who are working together to create a better or shape the profession in a different way in Pakistan, which is more relevant and which is governed and aligned with the global best practices. So these are the two things. Pathway is a wonderful mechanism that if fellow members choose to really experience and become a part of the other body because of any statutory rights, anything which is required them legally, like people who are working in UK or people who are working in Pakistan, or they are working abroad, there are certain statutory rights which exist for one body or other body. So this creates an opportunity for people who are looking for that kind of the statutory rights, or they want to experience a different kind of qualification, and they want to enhance their network. So I think ACCA and ICMA Pakistan, they complement each other. So it's not exactly like जो हम sometime example देते होते हैं कि अगर आपने पहले मैट्रिक किया हुआ है तो दोबारा आपको मैट्रिक करने की जरूरत नहीं. You have to really expand it a little bit. So I think the cost and management accounting side of it, that's bring a certain kind of complementary qualification within for ACCA, and similarly ACCA brings something which is more towards the statutory and the financial accounting side once it's come to the cost and management account. So I think there's a certain both the qualifications complement each other, but the advantage is bigger than that. You will have as a membership, you will have a louder voice to shape the profession. You will have a bigger network to do that, and the opportunity, once you are moving around in the world, that opportunity will change, and you will have someone to support you if somebody is working outside Pakistan in terms of bringing those rights which one body or other body may have, as well as to serve them from a CPD and career progression perspective and career support perspective. And the last item, you will be a part of a bigger community.
Thank you very much, Sajid, for the comprehensive reflection on this. Javeria, there is a question, if you can quickly respond to that. Does study material include in the exam fee of 59,000 rupees?
No, Hassan, for ICMA Pakistan, the reference books will be uploaded once the candidate registers and will have access to the student login portal on ICMA website. The reference study guides list would be available, but candidates would have to purchase the books themselves. The cost is not included in this 59,000.
Okay, thank you very much. And there is another question and at the same time comments as well. I'm clubbing them in the interest of time. The question is that after September, when is going to be the next exam attempt? There is some concern around the preparation time among few participants. So when is going to be the next attempt of this exam from ICMA Pakistan side after September?
Right. The next exam date, the date would be announced on the website, and but it is going to be in the next quarter, of course. So within 3 months, the next exam date would be available. I would also encourage candidates to review the syllabus that we have shared in the handout section as well. It is also available on the website. I am sure, once the candidates will have a look at the syllabus, and the model paper will also be uploaded on the website by tomorrow, let's say. That will give the candidates some amount of comfort. I have also shared that ICMA will be offering a crash course of 24 hours specifically for September exam date if the preparation is a concern to candidates.
Right. There is another important question, and that is about I live and work in UAE. So how can I attempt exam? And there is a requirement to present documents physically. So how can I do that? So
I
Javeria,
will have, yes, Hassan, because this is one of the essential requirements, but I would definitely revert to this particular question in a one-to-one chat. I'll have to discuss this with the education department.
right. And let me re-emphasize once again, there are a lot of questions regarding I am an affiliate, I am an associate. So let me repeat, this pathway program is for fellow members of both accounting bodies. All the associate members are encouraged to become fellow members. Another question trend that I am following is that if somebody is inactive, definitely he or she will not be eligible. So to be eligible for this program, you need to be in good standing from either accounting body, and there will be a requirement to submit letter of good standing. So definitely, if a fellow member or a member is eligible for this program is not active with the respective accounting body, they need to follow the business as usual guidelines to reactivate their status before they apply for this program. What is the course material for FCCA in order to pass MPE? Where can I buy that? So Javeria, if you could quickly respond again, although you have answered this. So study material from ICMA.
Yes, once the candidate would be registering and he would be getting his login details for his ICMA portal, the reference study guide list would be shared in that portal.
Right, thank you. There is also another question, what if we cannot avail it first time? So there will be a possibility to reset. There is no limitation on the reset. So anybody who will remain unsuccessful in completing this pathway exam in the first time will be eligible to apply and reset again. Right. There is another pertinent question, and then we will go for the closing remarks, and we can answer all other questions if they are different to the ones that we have already answered specifically by emailing you the answer. We will be having all the questions with us recorded against your emails and registration details. So any new questions which we will have not been able to answer on this program, on this event, we will be reverting back to you through email. But there is this important question for an FCCA member in practice for last 15 years in a practicing chartered accountant firm. How much additional experience would he need to gain as an ACMA practicing certificate? So Javeria, if you could kindly answer this. Javeria, I hope you can listen.
Yes, I would share the requirements via email with this candidate if you can kindly share his email address with me. And
Sure,
I think Sir Zia would like to answer this question as well. So I would request him to answer this.
sure.
Asim, you'll have to unmute Sir Zia. He is not able to unmute himself.
Okay.
Sir, if you kindly unmute.
Yes, please, you
Thank
can go
you.
ahead.
So regarding certificate of practice, the members of ACCA are eligible to get the certificate of practice after become the member of ICMA Pakistan, as a member of ICMAs are eligible. So likewise, the members coming through the route of ACCA, they are also eligible for this, but they have to just give a one legal module, which is comprises of local laws, corporate laws, and taxation, and it is again a computer-based examination, and for which we will organize a session, a training session of 40 credit hours, maybe 5 days a week, or if 40 credit hours you have to fulfill, then you will become eligible to appear in that exam, and after that you can get this certificate of practice. So this is just to ensure that the person who is getting the certificates of practice must be familiar with the local laws. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Zia, for your comments and answering this question. Javeria, there is a clarity that.
Yeah, Hassan, over to you.
Thank you, Zia sir. Javeria, if you could kindly make some clarity around the exam dates again. There is some confusion among the attendees about the exam dates.
Right. So exam for fellow members of ACCA would be conducted in the last week of September. An exam for fellow members of ICMA would be conducted on 15th of December.
Right. So, without any further ado, as I said earlier on, if there will be any questions, different ones, not the ones we have already provided answer to, and will be there, we definitely will be responding you back. We have already run past to our standard time. Now, I would request Head of Member Affairs, NISA region, Mr. Harun Ahmed Jan, for his closing remarks and share his views around this important program and how is this going to support member bodies of ACCA and ICMA Pakistan. Over to you, Harun sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hassan, and thank you all the panelists, Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, Mr. Sajid Aslam, Javeria, Hassan, yourself. Since I represent member affairs from ACCA, there has been a lot of excitement around this particular initiative for the past few months. I think it's evident that such a program or such a collaboration or such a partnership agreement between both bodies was highly appreciated by members of both bodies. I think on one hand, it will be an honor for the members of ACCA to become part of a national accounting body like ICMAP, and at the same time, it will be an honor, I'm sure, for the fellow cost management accountants of Pakistan to become part of the 219,000 members across the world that ACCA has. So I would want to further the comment that Sajid made, that it's an opportunity accounting bodies and members of both accounting bodies to become a bigger fraternity. And in that way, I think this is an excellent initiative. Very few examples of such initiatives exist already in the country or even outside of the country. There are fewer examples. Let me also, encourage ACCA members and ICMAP members or fellow members of both accounting bodies that this initiative has been very carefully worked out. It took both accounting bodies a lot of time in discussing, deliberating the matters, and then reaching a consensus and a position where we are today. So this is an excellent opportunity. I see a lot of interest already. Please make use of this opportunity. I have personally been receiving phone calls from many fellow ACCA members who've been asking me various questions, and I'm sure a lot of clarity would have come about as a result of today's session. To which, I mean, Javeria, for example, made quite a few, clarified quite a few things about the pathway program. Um, there were questions raised about the number of people in audit practice as opposed to the flow of talent, as opposed to the requirement of the industry. I have a very quick observation to that and a response to that. I think people with abilities who will now be coming into the profession will definitely raise the bar for the entire audit sector, the assurance sector in the country. In addition to that, the unique skill set that the members of both accounting bodies bring to the profession, that will make the entire profession more wholesome and more rounded. So in my opinion, this collaboration, while it is a forthcoming initiative for members of both accounting bodies, it is definitely going to have a positive impact on the business community, the fraternity, the confidence of investors, and of financial institutions within businesses in Pakistan. So congratulations to the members of both accounting bodies, to the management of both accounting bodies, to the office bearers of both accounting bodies. Hearty congratulations to all of them. I'm sure there will be more questions, there will be more scenarios that members of both accounting bodies will come up with, and definitely we will be, the management teams of both organizations will be willing and ready to share this information, to further information with the members. So once again, congratulations, all of you. Mr. Zia, I can see you on the screen. Congratulations to you and to all the members of both accounting bodies who are attending the session.
Thank you very much, Harun Saab, for your comments. And indeed, the power of network is what is going to be another very important element of this collaboration, which members would be able to enjoy and take benefit from. Lastly, thank you very much. On behalf of ICMA Pakistan and ACCA, I would thank all the members who've taken time out, attended this event. Thank you very much to all of you. I would also like to thank the leadership of both organizations, Ziaul Mustafa Saab, Sajid, Harun, and Anne from ACCA UK, Javeria for taking time out and delivering this initiative. Now, as I said earlier on, the recording of this session will be available in few hours from now. All you need to do is just to go to the same registration page, put in your details, and it will take you to the recording. Secondly, as for the web link, it will be up on the website, ACCA's website later today, and you will receive the link in your email by tomorrow as well. For the questions who we were not able to answer on this call, in the interest of time, we will be getting back to all those questions who will be unique and have not only already been answered during the course of this particular event. So good luck to all of you. We speak soon. There are email addresses of myself and Javeria, who will be the key person to answer all of your queries. They are mentioned on our websites. You can write to us and ask any query that you may feel you need to have clarity around. Once again, thank you very much, all of you. Speak soon. Take care and stay safe. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.
Allah Hafiz.